Hey everybody, today I'm coming to you guys with my first, I guess, like vlog video, is what they call it. My big announcement is that I am currently with child. I'm expecting my fourth baby, and so I thought that I'd share my experience with some of you. I watch a lot of pregnancy videos, especially when I was carrying my girls, and sometimes it's just pretty comforting to see somebody else going through the same thing you're going through or something similar, or if there's a particular condition you may have or whatever the case may be, and sometimes just really informative. So don't mind me right now, I'm laying down. I'm enjoying my off day in the rain. So anyways, let's hop right into it. So this is baby number 4. Tomorrow I'll be 15 weeks. So in a week and a day, I'll be 4 months. So what I'm planning on doing is to do a vlog video per trimester. So this video is going to be about months 1 through 3. And then towards the end of my second trimester, I'll do 3 through 6 and, 6 through 9. And then, of course, if I'm able to record while I'm delivering, then I plan to let you guys inside and see that as well. So, I just don't want to overwhelm people with, a bunch of videos. And there hasn't been much that has transpired in this pregnancy, just one particular thing. So, I really want to share that with you guys because it's something I've never heard of. I did a lot of research on it, YouTube, Google, because it was just unheard of to me. So, I found out I was pregnant in August. Yeah, I found out in August. And I usually always find out really early. I always find out when I'm about a month. Actually, with my daughters, when I found out I wasn't even a whole month yet, but because my husband and I were trying, I knew when I got pregnant and when the symptoms started occurring. This time around, I remember taking that's the twins. I remember taking a test on a Friday, and I thought that it had maybe been too soon, but I still. Okay. Go watch TV. I thought it had maybe been too soon, but I, wasn't sure. I still wanted to try. Because I kind of suspected it, but I wasn't sure. So I took a test on Friday, and the test came back negative. I let the weekend go by. Still no signs or symptoms that my period was approaching, which it should have been at that point, because I'm very regular. I always know my period is coming. I have very bad menstrual cramps. The week prior to my period, us women, our bodies, you start feeling the extra moisture, the chemistry change in your body. None of that was occurring. So I took a test that Friday, said negative. Let the weekend go by. Very early Monday morning, before I had to be at work, I took a test again, because the tests will tell you that your first morning urine is the best. So I did that, and I got really faint lines showing positive. So I waited till Thursday. I went to Planned Parenthood, and they confirmed it for me. And at that point, I was barely 4 weeks. So from weeks 4 to about week 10, there was just extreme exhaustion. It would kill me to get up and go to work, especially when I had to be at work at 7 in the morning. It just killed me. Everything that I did at home, any chores, making dinner, I was napping. Like, People were calling me. I'm like, I've been calling you. Why haven't you been answering your phone? Like, I would literally shut my ringer off and I would be dead to the world. On my off days, I would be asleep all day long. All day long. I would wake up, maybe eat something, get something to drink, use the bathroom, and I would be right back dead to the world asleep. It was just like no sleep was good enough. I, of course, was experiencing a lot of urinating. Normal. So yeah, that's all I can remember up to week 10 is extreme exhaustion. In some cases of nausea. I don't often get nauseated when I'm pregnant or morning sickness. I've thrown up a couple times, and that was mainly from brushing my teeth. The stomach bile coming up. If I gag, it's coming up, and that happened maybe 2 or 3 times. I'm doing a video. Can y'all stop coming in here? I will be done in a minute.
Good burger.
Yeah. So that only happened a couple times. When I was 10 weeks, I'll just, we're grown here. So, my husband and I had sex. And when we got done, I got up to go to the bathroom. And there was blood all over me. It was not rough sex, anything like that. Then my husband walks in the bathroom, and there's blood all over him. And I was just confused. I was, like, okay, what's going on? Immediately when I sat down on the toilet, I felt blood clots and tissue come out of me, like, back to back. There was at least, like, 4 or 5 blood clots and tissue coming out of me. And I immediately panicked. I did not know what to do. I immediately was like, okay, I'm miscarrying. Which, it was strange to me because usually before miscarriage, you feel some type of, cramping. And there was none of that. There was no signs of anything. No pain, no spotting prior to that. Nothing. So I was really confused. So I did stick my hand in the toilet bowl that was completely red. And that's how I knew that there were several blood clots and tissue. And, these were big-ass blood clots, okay? So I naturally assumed, okay, I'm miscarrying. So, my husband was with me the whole time, comforting me in the shower. I think I stayed in the shower for about an hour. And kind of just stared at the wall. Because I was just that confused. And, trying to figure out where I went wrong, if it had anything to do with work. I'm a caregiver, so I do a lot of lifting, bending, squatting. But like I said, because I had no symptoms that anything could possibly be wrong, I just didn't understand. So, after being in the shower for about an hour, there was still some light bleeding. It wasn't, heavy, dark blood streaming out of me like it was prior to that. But there was still bleeding. I did not have any pads because in general, when I'm on my period, I don't wear pads. So all I had were tampons. So, and I know this is a big no-no, and I'm not encouraging anyone else to do it. I did use the tampon because I didn't want to be, bleeding all over my bed or anything like that. And I just laid in my bed until I finally was able to drift off to sleep, which was probably about 5 in the morning. I woke up again at 10 a.m. and I went to the bathroom to check, and there was still just very little bleeding. And so I used another tampon, and then about an hour or 2 later, when I checked again, I was just constantly going to the bathroom checking. There was no more bleeding. This all happened on a Saturday morning. So I waited until that Monday. And By that time, there was no bleeding at all. So now I'm like, okay, what's really going on? I'm searching up, Googling, and YouTubing about, women who've suffered miscarriages. And I'm like, okay, my situation is nothing like this. I should still be bleeding. Is the thing that's running through my head. I still should be bleeding if I am indeed miscarrying. And I wanted to find out if, because I was 10 weeks, if I did miscarry, do I need to be at the hospital, and is there anything left inside of me, that needs to be cleaned out? We all know that stuff is dangerous, whatever. So I left work early. Because I was terrified of my answer, I did call my doctor and was hoping that I can get an ultrasound through them first, and they did tell me that I need to go to the emergency room. So I made the decision to go to the emergency room on my own. I needed to accept and deal with it on my own before I faced anyone else. So I did. I came home. I showered really good, tried to prepare myself mentally. I'm not gonna lie, I did do a few loads of laundry because I was just dreading going. I had my mind set up that I was miscarrying, and I didn't want to hear it. So, I went to the emergency room maybe about 7-ish, and I think I was there for about a good 5-6 hours. They did take my blood, they did do an ultrasound, and I did have to give them a urine sample. Now, we all know when you go to the emergency room, they're not supposed to show you the ultrasound, the sonogram. They're not supposed to reveal to you the sex, anything. But I just thank God for this particular sonogram technician, because I think she sensed my panic and my worry. And she turned the monitor to me and she said, look. And there was a baby still there. I can see the heartbeat. And I just cried. All I could do was cry because, I was like, wow. Here I am thinking that I've miscarried. I've never known for a woman to bleed like that and still be with child. So, she had to do one vaginally, and she had to, she did the ultrasound, with the gel on my belly. And, once I seen that my baby was still there, okay, I can breathe again. But now I'm worrying, what's wrong? What complications am I going to be suffering through this pregnancy? As you guys know, the older you are, when you start carrying children, you're more at risk of having complications. Okay, I'm not that same 21-year-old anymore. I'm almost 30 years old, even though that is still young, but still. So after the sonogram, I waited for a few hours, waited for all my testing to come back. The doctor finally calls me back, and he's just like, well, you have a very healthy baby. What you're experiencing is a subchorionic hematoma. Never heard of this shit before in my life, but I do know what a hematoma is. So I'm like, okay. And he basically explained that there was basically a little pocket of blood that was on my uterus. Well, there's a pocket of blood that is between the uterus and the placenta. And he was like, there is still a chance of miscarrying, but because of the fact that it's small, it should just absorb into your tissues and everything should be fine. So he took me off work for a week, told me no sex for a week, and that I need to follow up with my OBGYN, which is what I did. When I followed up with my OBGYN, he checked me. He basically said how this is normal. I don't see how this is normal, okay? I've never experienced this before. But that everything was fine. That basically, if I was going to miscarry, if it was an unhealthy pregnancy, regardless of the fact, my body is going to get rid of the baby regardless. He was like, so, he released me to go back to work, which I was happy about. And we did our normal talk about everything. So after a week of no sex and no, vigorous movements and things like that, I did experience some very little pink spotting after having sex with my husband again, but it was nothing like it was before. So, with that being said, that was just like the big hump that I needed to get over. I have not had an ultrasound since coming from the emergency room. My doctor did look over the ultrasound, and, like he said, everything was fine, that the baby was healthy. Thank God there's only one in there, even though at one point I thought that maybe I passed another baby and that my body kept one. I did conceive twins naturally on my own, so the chances are kind of high for me to carry twins again. So, yeah, other than that, everything's been great. Ever since then, though, I'm not gonna lie, I've had so much energy after that, all of that bleeding and tissue passing. Like, I've been able to stay up for 12, 14, 15 hours at a time. I don't have to nap in between anything. I can get up, go to work, be fine, come home, cook dinner, clean the house, and everything be good. So, I don't know. I just feel so much better, and since then, that's pretty much the only hump that I had to get over for my first trimester. So far I've been feeling really good, taking my prenatal pills every day. Like I said, having energy. I was experiencing terrible constipation, and what has helped me a lot is drinking green tea, because it's, now finally cold and it's rainy weather. I really do enjoy drinking green tea, so I try to have at least a cup a day, and that has really been helping me to go, because my doctor did also prescribe me with iron pills, and I didn't want to take them because I was already severely constipated. Like, I was constipated for 4 or 5 days at a time, and it's painful as is, but especially when you're pregnant. So other than that, and the tea that I've been drinking that's really good, and I've just been putting honey and lemon in it, is the orange, passion fruit, and jasmine Lipton green tea. Very good. It smells amazing. So far, that is my update for my first trimester, months 1 through 3. I hope this video was informational and helpful to someone. I look forward to seeing you guys or talking with you guys really soon, and maybe doing some more makeup videos. So, I hope everyone is enjoying this lovely Sunday, and I will see you guys next time.